Hi, my name is Christina Arnold, and in this presentation, I will be talking about the Kemp design model. Here is a definition of the Kemp design model. It defines the different elements rather than stage, step, level, or sequential items of an instructional design, and emphasizes the adoption of continuous implementation and evaluation throughout the instructional design process. This model was developed from the ideas published by Gerald Kemp in 1971 in a book called Instructional Design, A Plan for Unit and Course Development. The model was first revised in 1994 in a book called Designing Effective Instruction. This was written by authors Gerald Kemp, Gary Morrison, and Steve Ross. Later, a seventh edition was included, adding Howard Talman in 2014. Ideas on technology-based instruction were added to this edition. When designing instruction based on the Kemp design model, it is first good to ask yourself the following questions in order to best serve your students. The Kemp design model is based upon four fundamental and interrelated components that are important for course development: students, objectives, methods, and evaluations. This model is in the shape of an oval to show a holistic approach with emphasis on interdependencies of each of the steps, with the process being a continuous cycle. It is a process that is ongoing and can be adjusted as needed. This instructional design model is nonlinear and interrelated, allowing for flexibility as it moves to the different stages. Here, it can be addressed simultaneously, individual, and maybe not at all. This encourages to take the perspective of the learner and allows to support the students when creating objectives, materials, and assessments. Below is the 9 key elements for instruction based on the Kemp design model. Here, the designers are not required to consider the components in a prescribed, orderly way to realize that the instructional design model works in a specific way. These elements are intended to focus on the whole learner throughout the design process. So the ones listed below, you want to identify the problem, examine the characteristics. So you're talking about the actual students, the age, their prior knowledge, their learning styles. State objectives. So what do you want them to be able to master? The sequence. So what order do you want your content to be in that makes logical sense? Do they build on each other? The strategies. Is it interesting? How are you presenting? Are they actively participating? Plan. So here you want to make sure that your message and the way you deliver it, does it function the way you want to? Does it align in the order in which you want to present it? Including resources to support. So you're talking about media, examples, and evaluation. So how and what are you going to use to assess your student learning? Here I've created my own lesson based on the Kemp design model. I've identified the problem. I have the learner characteristics in which it's going to be taught, the subject, and the task components. Here, what they're going to be doing, the objective, students will use a number line to model and label the operations given to determine the solution. The sequence, so what makes logical order in teaching this. Instructional strategies, activating that prior knowledge, modeling, using manipulatives, practice and observation. Here are ways to deliver the message. So you've got interactive number lines, card sorts, practice there, evaluation instruments, resources, and ongoing process. Also in the educational setting, you have the Kemp model can be seen in an e-learning setting, so online. This could be, for example, the class we're taking now. You want to make sure that it's meaningful, that it focuses on the online learner's needs. You have goals. So here you can talk about communication goals. You want to make sure that you're effectively getting out what you want them to do. Research your audience, know their backgrounds, experience levels, and common traits. You could develop a more advanced online training materials, for example, for those who already have the basic knowledge. Also choosing the way you want your students to gather and learn the content. That's how we're doing it in our class now. Is it self-paced? Do you require synchronous events? How are your resources put? How are they going to use them? Assessment. So how are you going to evaluate them to observe their progress? And how often you do this? Which evaluation is right for you and your student? The next one is the peanut butter and jelly lesson. So the problem would be here when applied to the Kemp model, they don't know how to make the sandwich. So that's the problem. The objective to master is doing it effectively. The sequence, so what order should it be done and taught? The prior knowledge activities. So this could be showing videos. You can do songs, actually performing the task, making the peanut butter and jelly sandwich to see how they do it. And then here, students receive feedback and evaluation of their master of the concepts. Are they able to perform the task? All of these were examples of ways to use the Kemp design model in the classroom. Thank you.